Good evening, sunshine. I'm serving a full face of freshly tested coop and just enough patience left to host the circus we call the news. I spent the day outside with my wildlings, kids, Keats, and Chaos, putting our new temporary bird palace to the test. And guess what? It held, unlike certain political promises we'll be discussing tonight. From embassies shutting down to budget bombs and Trump trying to sell us a phone with freedom frosting and spyware filling, tonight's headlines are messy, expensive, and way too on brand. But don't worry, baby. I showed up, be bold, and ready to sass the madness straight into submission. Let's get into it. Jerusalem on Do Not Disturb mode. The U.S. just hit airplane mode in Jerusalem. The U.S. Embassy will shut its doors Wednesday through Friday due to what the State Department calls security concerns and Israel guidance. Now, they didn't spell out exactly what those concerns are, but let's be honest. When we shut down an embassy midweek, it's not because someone forgot the coffee filters. Something's heating up, and this administration is trying not to get burned. The move comes amid a swirl of rising tensions across the region, and let's not pretend it's unrelated to the Golden Dawn's very hands-on foreign policy. If by hands-on you mean explosive, unpredictable, and basically writing love letters to Netanyahu while ghosting global diplomacy. The left says this is a direct consequence of Golden Dawn's Middle East blundering, his blind loyalty to Netanyahu and total disregard for regional diplomacy have made the area more volatile than a shaken soda can on a summer day. The right says this is solid, strong leadership. The Orange Overlord is putting America's safety first, standing shoulder to shoulder with Israel and not afraid to take action when the security situation demands it. Center says this is textbook precaution. Embassy closures like this are standard practice when credible threats are detected. It doesn't necessarily mean a war is breaking out, but it does mean something is brewing. Let me get this straight. Golden Dawn wants to play a global super cop, broker back alley deals with billionaires, and throw sanctions around like parade confetti. But the second things get spicy in Jerusalem is everybody out, embassy closed, phones off, lights dimmed. It's giving passive aggressive panic. And for 3 whole days, that's not a coffee break. That's a please don't bomb us while we're trying to figure out who ticked off who this time kind of move. So, to recap, Jerusalem's on high alert. The U.S. just left early from the G7, and now we're about to blow a $2.8 trillion hole in the economy with a grin and a golf swing. What could possibly go wrong? Big, beautiful budget bomb. Just in time for fireworks, the Orange Overlord is pushing Congress to pass a tax and spending bill so fiscally reckless, even the calculators are waving white flags. According to a brand new report from the Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, Golden Dawn's latest big beautiful bill, yes, that's really what they are calling it, will add $2.8 trillion to the federal deficit over the next 10 years. That's after accounting for all of the dreamy economic growth projections baked into the pitch. This comes after the House barely squeaked the bill through in May, with the Senate now scrambling to revise it in time for a July 4th deadline, because nothing says independence like deepening national debt and slashing your own safety net. And just to sweeten the deal, the bill also jacks up interest payments on the debt by $441 billion, raises borrowing costs across the board, expands Medicaid work requirements, and gives select seniors a bigger tax break because when in doubt, throw a deduction at grandma. The left says that this is economic sabotage dressed in MAGA merch. It guts support for the poor, balloons the deficit, and shifts even more burden onto working class Americans, all while selling it as fiscal responsibility. Medicaid work requirements, punitive cruelty. The right says this is about unleashing the American economy, baby. Yes, there's a short-term cost, but it's an investment in growth. Medicaid reforms are about personal accountability, and the tax benefits help. This is about unleashing the American economy, baby. Yes, there's a short-term cost, but it's an investment in growth. Medicaid reforms are about personal accountability, and the tax benefits help seniors and job creators alike. Center says the math's not mathing. The bill expands the deficit, sparks intra-party debates, and while some reforms may boost efficiency, it's a fiscal gamble that deserves closer scrutiny, especially with the 2026 economy still on shaky legs. Let's call it what it is. Golden Dawn's economic policy is 1 part Monopoly game, 2 parts vibes, and 3 parts I'm rich, so screw the rest of you. You can't slap patriotism on a deficit and expect it to balance. This bill is like lighting sparklers in a firework warehouse, sparkly, loud, and one bad move from blowing a hole in the budget ceiling. And let's be clear, if you're wondering whether this thing pays for itself, it doesn't, not even close. Mark Goldwine said it best. It's not paying for all of itself, it's not paying for any of itself, which ironically is also how I describe my ex. We've burned through logic, lit up the deficit, and now we're calling it a day. Literally. Trump just dropped a Made in America phone that's likely made in China. Let's ring up the grift, shall we? Coming to a clearance bin near you, the Trump T1 smartphone, a gold-plated Android knockoff being sold for $499 under the sparkling brand of Trump Mobile. Launched June 16, 2025, the Orange Overlord's latest business baby promises made in America greatness, except that it likely isn't made in America. Experts say the phone is probably designed and manufactured by a Chinese firm. But don't worry, Eric Trump says they might make it here someday, just not now or soon. The device runs Android, borrows T-Mobile infrastructure, and offers a $47.45 monthly plan called the 47 plan, which includes telemedicine and, wait for it, roadside assistance. Because if your phone drops a call, maybe your truck will too. The left says this is textbook Trump grift. They're calling it MAGAphone, and yes, it's as cringe as it sounds, branding a likely Chinese manufactured phone as made in America while pocketing profits as the capitalist cosplay we've come to expect. Right, so sure, the phone's origin isn't 100% US made yet, but this is about building momentum for American manufacturing. It's not perfect, it's a start, and it's priced to compete with big tech. The center says everyone agrees on one thing. You can't build a fully US made smartphone for $499. The supply chain realities are brutal, and while this may be a smart licensing play, the patriotic packaging deserves a side eye. This isn't a phone launch, it's a limited edition grift drop. And at $499, it costs more than your dignity after pretending you believe this thing was built in Peoria instead of Shenzhen. Let's be real. If this phone were any more performative, it would be doing high kicks in a feather boa at a CPAC. And the 47 plan, baby, that's not a telecom package. It's a campaign ad with a SIM card. So, if you want to support US jobs, maybe skip the MAGAphone and just buy your cousin's Etsy candles instead. And while Trump's selling glorified burner phones to fund his ego tour, the rest of the world is out here spiraling. Let's hit the lightning round because chaos doesn't clock out. LA erupts over ice raids. The city of Los Angeles turned into a battleground after aggressive ice sweeps triggered mass protests. The Orange Overlord sent in over 4,000 National Guard troops and Marines. Curfews, injuries, and a legal war from California's governor are already in full swing. When the feds start playing Border Patrol bully, LA doesn't just march, it erupts. Trump ghosted the G7. Golden Dawn ditched the G7 summit early amid rising Middle East tensions, flying home to bark orders about Iran and throw shade at allies. Nothing says strong leadership like piecing out mid-conference with your tantrum briefcase. Tariff pause ticking down. Trump's reciprocal tariffs pause ends July 7th, and global leaders are sweating. Allies want new trade terms, but Donnie's playing hardball. 3 weeks left on the world's least romantic countdown, a trade war reboot no one asked for. America's phones are cyber free for all. China linked hackers are targeting officials' phones, and experts are calling it a mobile security crisis. Who needs spy balloons when your pocket is a surveillance buffet? The CDC warns of a new COVID variant. A new variant is causing a spike in hospitalizations across 5 states. No lockdowns yet, but local mandates might return. Just when we thought 2020 trauma had clocked out, COVID's got another comeback tour. That was a lot. So, Before we all emotionally evaporate, let's sink into something beautiful. And by beautiful, I mean bioluminescent coral gardens and gardens that just dropped like nature's version of an album surprise. Tell me something good deep sea Disney magic. Let's shake off the politics and dive deep. Literally. Marine scientists just made a jaw-dropping discovery near Antarctica while exploring the chilly waters around the South Sandwich Islands. What did they find? Oh, just coral gardens, bubbling volcanic vents, and what might be entirely new species of marine life. These stunning undersea landscapes were found miles below the surface, untouched, glowing, and serving Little Mermaid meets National Geographic energy. It's the kind of discovery that reminds us while some people are busy picking fights on Twitter, Mother Earth is still down there building alien worlds in silence. And here's the cherry on top. These remote regions are now a key focus for conservation, with scientists pushing for urgent protection status to keep this underwater wonderland intact. While certain billionaires are busy launching phones made in China and calling it freedom tech, the ocean is over here serving bioluminescent realness and reminding us what actual innovation looks like. So breathe deep, smile wide, and remember, there's still magic in this world. You just have to look way down to find it. That's a wrap on tonight's SassCast, straight from your full glam, coop certified twin wrangling freedom fact checking anchor in eyeliner. While the world short circuits over phones, deficits, and foreign policy tantrums, I'm out here holding down the homestead with winged liner sharp enough to cut through the noise. So, fluff your lashes, fix your crown, and remember, some of us are multitasking motherhood, politics, and poultry, and still showing up camera ready. I'll see you tomorrow. Lashes curled, mic hot, and mood fully moisturized. Good night, Glam Fam. See you tomorrow.